everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Mackenzie, and this is Sorority Recruitment 101, the channel that's dedicated to answering the questions you may have about what it's like to be in a sorority in college and what it's like to go through sorority recruitment. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys about my experience going through recruitment as a freshman at the University of Alabama. I'm gonna go through the entire week and what I went through, including all of the ups and the downs. Before I jump into today's video, make sure you subscribe down below so you never miss a new video about recruitment tips or about my experiences being in a sorority at the University of Alabama. Also, make sure you follow us on all of our social media so you stay up to date on everything that's going on and so you can join our Sorority Recruitment 101 family. And all of our links for our social media are located in the description box below. All right, so let's get right into recruitment. At Alabama, you get to move in actually a week before everyone else because that's when sorority recruitment takes place. So my family and I went right down to Tuscaloosa, moved into our dorm, and it was the easiest move-in process. My parents were actually really surprised at how quickly and efficiently we got everything into the building because there's people that help you move in. So they'll come down to your car, get all of your stuff, and bring it upstairs to your dorm for you. It was so easy and seamless. We went to park our car, came back, and all of my stuff was already in my room, and we just unpacked everything, and I was actually the first one there out of all of my roommates. In my dorm, we had a total of 4 girls. We lived in Riverside, which is one of the suite style dorms, and 3 out of the 4 of us were rushing. So as I was unpacking, the 2 of them showed up at their specific move-in times, and we got to know each other and talked about all things and how excited we were to go through sorority recruitment in the coming days. So the day after move-in, we had Convocation. This is kind of like an orientation for recruitment where you get to meet your ROCI or recruitment counselor and your ROCI group, and also all of the Panhellenic executive board. Now, the day before Convocation, your ROCI gives you a phone call just to let them know that they will be your recruitment counselor and they are there for you throughout the entire process. And then they will also tell you what group number you're in. When you get to Convocation, they'll be holding up a sign for you, so just look for your number and you'll be able to find your name tag right on your seat. They had buses coming to all of the dorms that were farther away from the Coliseum to pick us up to go to Convocation. So my roommates and I hopped on the bus and went to Coleman Coliseum and then looked for our ROCIs. I loved my ROCI freshman year. Shout out to Maggie. Love you, girl. We actually are still friends to this day, and I just loved her. She was really there for me throughout my freshman year, and I will always be grateful for her. After I found my seat, I started talking to some of the girls around me, seeing who I was going to be spending most of my time with this week. After that, the Panhellenic exec gave their speeches, and we got to hear from some of the other officials on campus, just letting us know how the week was going to go and what to expect in the next coming days. Actually, my year, when I went through recruitment freshman year, and it's obviously grown since then at Alabama, but we were the largest recruitment class to ever come through any university. So that was really exciting for all of us to hear, and also kind of nerve-wracking because we're going up against 2,600 girls to try and get a bid into a sorority. But to be honest, I wasn't that nervous because I was just so excited to be there. I was the first one in my family to go really far away for college. So I was so excited to begin a new life in a new town and just jump into getting involved. After all the speeches, you meet with your ROCI group and you introduce yourselves to one another just so everyone can see where everybody's from and kind of just get a feel for how the group dynamic will be. The people in your ROCI group are the people you travel with to every house the first round of recruitment. And I'll get more into that later. After Convocation, my roommates and I met at the buses to head back to our dorm, and we kind of just chilled out and got all of our things ready to start the first day of recruitment the next day. We wake up and it's the first day of recruitment and I have butterflies in my stomach. I was so nervous just because I had no idea what to expect. And to be honest, August in Alabama is very hot, and I kind of used to pass out when I was a kid, so I was also really nervous about that. Again, they had buses that picked us up at our dorms that were farther away from Sorority Row, so we were able to hop on a bus to bring us down to recruitment where we would meet up with our ROCI and our ROCI groups at our home base. Every ROCI group is given a home base in Alabama, and this is where you meet every morning and where you wait around if you have a break in between houses. So once we got to Sorority Row, my roommates and I separated and went to our own home bases to meet with our ROCI group. Here we got our name tags and kind of just got prepared to move around the row. The first round at Alabama is open house, and you get to go to all 16 houses at the time. Now there's 17, but we got to go to all 16 houses the first round, and we traveled together as a ROCI group. I will never forget the first house I went to during recruitment. I had no idea what to expect, and then all of a sudden, hundreds of girls are screaming their sorority door song at me. And yes, those videos you see on TikTok and on Instagram of the door songs of sororities welcoming people into the houses is definitely real, and it is something out of the ordinary and something you definitely need to experience. So when you're waiting to go into the house, you get lined up in alphabetical order with your Rokai group, and then once they finish the door song, they open up into this thing called a tunnel, and then you walk in one by one. I remember being so excited and overwhelmed walking into my first house just because everyone is screaming your name, everyone's yelling and still singing the door song, and it is just an insane experience I really can't even explain. Someone picks me up as I'm on my way into the house, and I talk with her for a while, and I did talk to some other people as well, but it is so incredibly loud in these houses, and I did not expect that. But if you think about it, your Rokai group is about 100 girls, so everyone trying to have a conversation with someone in one house, it's gonna get very loud. Open house parties tend to be very quick, so you're really in and out of there in just 20 minutes. For me, all of open house was a blur, and I even forgot what happened in some houses. At Alabama, we actually had this thing called a Greek Chic. And what it is, it's a booklet that tells you all about recruitment, and it also tells you all about the sororities on campus. Each sorority gets a page, and it lists fun facts about them, and it also gives you a space to write down notes in between parties. Having the notes section was really helpful for me, and what I did was I took notes about every house in between every party, just so I would have something to remember about the house, because as I said, open house is a whirlwind and it can be much of a blur. So you definitely want to have some notes down in between every house so you have something to remember it by. I really loved the first round because you got to go to every house and meet so many different people, and I really did have a great time. After the 2 days of open house, we headed to vote on the houses we had been to. Now, to go into Philanthropy Round, the max amount of houses you can have is 12. So you rank your bottom 4 houses. After we voted, I went back to my room. We all got back so late that day because at the time you had to vote with your group. So you had to wait around for hours sometimes. I remember I was the first one of my roommates to get home, and I was waiting for them to eat dinner, and it took hours for all of us to be done. I don't think we ate until 9 p.m. that night. It was insane. We got back and kind of talked about our experience, and then we all went to bed to get ready for the next day. Philanthropy Round was actually one of my favorite rounds to go through. We got to wear t-shirts that we got the night of Convocation and shorts, so it made it feel more casual and more laid back than the previous round. All the sororities also dressed up, and a lot of them show videos or do skits or have speeches about their philanthropies, so you can learn exactly what they do for them and what their big events to raise money are. At Alabama, they also give you drinks at the parties. The first round, it's normally water, just to keep you hydrated, water with like fruit in it. And then at Philanthropy Round, it actually starts getting more fun. I know one sorority does Coke floats, another does Capri Suns. A lot of the time they try and match it to their philanthropy, so it gives them the space to be creative, and it also gets you excited to see what drink you'll have at each house throughout the day. I felt I got to see more of a personality from the chapters this round, just because they're talking about something they're passionate about, and they get to do it in a really fun and creative way. This round, I got to go to 8 houses. The max you can have is 12, but that doesn't mean you're going to have 12. I got asked back to 8 houses. Some people got asked back to 2. Some people got asked back to all 12. It really just depends on your recruitment experience. The amount of houses you get back spans over the course of 2 days of Philanthropy Round, and then you go to vote again. So voting this round, if you got all 12 houses back, you would rank your bottom 4 houses, because the max you can get asked back to for Sisterhood Round is 8. For me, I got really lucky because I already had 8 houses, so I didn't have to vote at all. I just pressed submit and I was able to go back to my dorm, and it was super quick. My roommates and I all got back relatively early, so we were able to eat earlier this round, which was very exciting, and we basically just were able to discuss our days and our experience thus far. Now, a little fun fact for the morning of Sisterhood Round. Your Rokai will tell you to leave your phone on loud in case you get released from recruitment. This means that you kind of got dropped from every house and that there wasn't a spot for you in a house this year. And I remember the morning of Sisterhood Round, I heard my phone go off and I had a heart attack. I was freaking out. I remember I was sitting with my roommate Taylor at the kitchen table, and we both looked at each other and freaked out because I thought I was getting released from recruitment. But it ended up just being my mom texting me saying good morning and good luck on this next round. But I remember calling her after and being like, you can't call or text me in the morning because I will have a panic attack. I thought I was getting released from Rush when you texted me because I heard my phone go off. It was a mess. So after that, I reached out to her first in the morning rather than her reaching out to me. So my roommates and I again hopped on the bus to head to Sorority Row for the morning of Sisterhood Round, round 3 of recruitment. I got my schedule back and I got 5 houses back, which I was very excited about. I thought it was a good amount for the amount that we were able to have, which is a maximum of 8. This is the day where it kind of gets intense for some girls. Some of them don't get to ask back to many houses. Some of them only have 1 house left, and a lot of people start to get disappointed this day just because they really loved some sororities and ended up getting dropped from them. For me, I tried to keep an open mind just because I didn't know much about the sororities at Alabama, and I just didn't really care that much, to be honest. But there were some on my schedule that I was really disappointed with getting back, as I didn't really feel like I gelled with them or fit in really well, or I didn't really have great conversations there. But like I said, I decided to keep an open mind and go into those houses with a fresh look, just to see if I ended up liking them by the end of the week. That's the thing too, is that a lot of people's opinions change throughout the week. And this is what I tell people when I speak with them about recruitment, is that you need to keep an open mind, because a house you hated in the beginning of the week, you could love by the end of the week. And vice versa. You could love a house in the first round and by the last round, you absolutely hate it. It really just depends on how the week goes for you. So definitely keep an open mind throughout your time during recruitment. So the third round of recruitment is Sisterhood, and I had so much fun during this round. All the sororities either do skits or dances, and you also get to see a video about what their sisterhood is like. This was really cool because I got to see how involved sororities were on campus. And that was a big thing for me because I wanted to get so involved at Alabama so I could meet all kinds of people. It's also really fun because you get to see how people act with their friends when they're singing songs or doing dances. You really get to see the personalities of the chapters this day, and I had so much fun. I went to all of my houses. Sisterhood was also over the course of 2 days, and then it was time for voting. Now, the next round is preference round, which is the most serious round of recruitment, and you can have a max of 3 houses. I was really lucky because I only had to drop 2 houses, whereas some people had to drop 5 houses. And it's a hard decision because you've made it this far and you've gotten to know the chapters, so it really is hard to let go of some of them because you've really started to like them. Now, I moved my 2 bottom houses to the bottom, and then I went back to my dorm. Now, I was really nervous for preference round because, like I said before, I got some houses back I didn't really like, and I was hoping they wouldn't end up on my schedule. So the next morning, my roommates and I wake up, we're all dressed up for preference round, as it is the most serious and formal day of recruitment, and we head back to Sorority Row. I got my name tag with my schedule in it, and I open it up, and I was so disappointed. I got 3 houses, but I had my least favorite house on my schedule, and I was so upset about it just because in the pit of my stomach, I knew that I was going to end up getting that house. I don't know why, don't ask me how, but I just had this gut feeling that I was going to end up getting them, and I was so nervous about that. I was really only disappointed about having that house on my schedule. The other 2 houses I had, I really liked throughout the week, so I was excited to go back there and hopefully fight for my chance to be a member of that chapter. So I went to my first 2 houses, I had great conversations, and I was really excited, hoping to get bids to those chapters. And I went to that last house, and I was kind of iffy still after I left, so I was really, really nervous. When we got done with the parties for preference round, we went to vote, and I seriously contemplated dropping that house so I wouldn't get a bid to them. But then I ran the risk of not getting a bid at all. So I figured I would keep them on my schedule because I'd rather have them than not have a bid at all and have to go to my dorm and stay there on bid day while my roommates were celebrating. So I remember voting. We ranked our 3 houses, or however many houses you have left. You rank them in order, and then you head back to your dorm. I gave my Rokai Maggie a big hug and thanked her for helping me throughout the week because she really helped me a lot. And then I went on my way back to my dorm. I was kind of sad that recruitment was ending just because I had so much fun getting to know all of the houses and getting to go inside and see them and meet so many new and amazing people. But I was also excited about this journey that was about to begin of me joining a sorority and having the best 4 years of my life. I got back to my dorm and my roommates were there, and we kind of just talked about our week and how much fun we had and how excited we were for bid day the next day. Bid day was around 10 a.m. and I woke up the next morning so nervous. I was so nervous. So I put on my tank top and my shorts. We headed down to the stadium, and that's where we received our bids, but we sat on them for so long. They make you wait at Alabama, they really do. So they had them in these manila envelopes, and you can't see through them. There's no chance of seeing what sorority you got before you open the bid. We're all in the stadium. It's so hot in the stadium. We're all using our bids to fan ourselves. And all of Panhellenic kind of gives speeches and lets you know what sorority they were in. And fun fact, your Rokai does not tell you what sorority she's in because she is disaffiliated. This is so she doesn't give you a biased opinion and you are not swayed on your decision based on the sorority your Rokai is in. One of the best parts of bid day is when the Panhellenic exec lists off all the sororities and then the Rokai stand up and say which ones they were in. It's just so fun after you've been guessing what sorority they've been in all week to find out finally which one they were in. It finally came time for us to open our bids, and I was so nervous. So I was kind of hesitant, open mind. They counted down from 10 to 1 and everyone was ripping them open. I was kind of cautious and I opened my bid. I was so hyped up and nervous. I couldn't even see what sorority I was in at first. I just started screaming. I don't even know which one it was yet. And I looked down and I focused a little bit more and I read my bid and I realized that I had gotten my last choice house. I was disappointed. Not gonna lie, I was, but I was also really excited because again, I told you I'm trying to keep an open mind. Also, one of my friends from high school was in this chapter at Alabama and she loves it, or had loved it at the time. She was a current member in that chapter. So I figured I'm gonna try it out and see what happens, but I was really disappointed because I loved my 2 other houses so much more than this one. After that, I texted my mom, I texted my roommates, and they both got their top choice houses, and I was so happy for them. And I told them which one I got, and they were like, it'll be fine. Like, they were very reassuring for me, which I really, really appreciated. After you open your bids, you meet up with your new pledge class and run to your new sorority house looking for a sign with your name on it. I was so excited to see my friend Caroline from high school holding up the sign with my name on it, as she was my bid day big, and I was just so happy to see her after the long week that I had had. After you find your bid day big, you get a bag of goodies with your letters on it. The top things we get are our jersey and our hat, and that's what everyone puts on the second they get to their house. After that, you take bid day pictures, and there's also a bid day meal at the sorority house. I didn't stay at our house because it was very small and there was no room, so my friend Caroline and I went to lunch with another active and another new member. I remember being disappointed, but I was excited to kind of get to know the chapter and see what happened. If you want to learn what happened after bid day, check out my video right here about my experience being in that sorority. All right, you guys, so that is my video about going through recruitment as a freshman at the University of Alabama. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want me to do more story times about my experience with the recruitment or my experience being in a sorority, please comment what topics you want me to do down below. Also, always comment questions you have about recruitment down below as well, or you can DM me on social media, which is linked in the description box below. As always, subscribe to my channel if you're interested in learning more about sorority life or about how to go through sorority recruitment, and here's some tips and tricks to give you guidance. That way you have the best recruitment experience possible. And make sure you click that notification bell so you never miss a new video. Thank you so much for watching, you guys, and I will see you in the next video.